Hey Cancer, welcome back. I just pulled cards for you about what's coming next in your love life, and honestly, the energy here is really interesting. I'm going to take my time with each card because there's so much depth to uncover. Let me share what I'm seeing. So the first card that came out is the Six of Cups. You know what's fascinating about this? There's this gentle, nostalgic energy surrounding your love life right now. The Six of Cups talks about revisiting the past, but not in a way that keeps you stuck. It's more like the universe is asking you to remember what love felt like when it was innocent and pure. Maybe there's someone from your past who's been on your mind lately. Or perhaps you've been thinking about the way relationships used to feel before things got complicated. What I'm getting from this card is that your future love situation involves healing, old wounds connected to romance. The Six of Cups often shows up when we need to reconnect with our inner child's understanding of love. You might find yourself running into someone you used to know, or you could meet someone new who reminds you of a feeling you thought was lost. There's this sense of sweetness coming back into your emotional world. The interesting thing is that this card suggests your next romantic chapter won't be about intense passion right away. It's going to be about comfort, familiarity, and emotional safety. You might be surprised by how someone from an unexpected place brings back that feeling of home. Pay attention to connections that feel easy and natural, because that's where the magic is hiding for you. I'm also sensing that if you've been carrying guilt or regret about past relationships, the Six of Cups is telling you it's time to forgive yourself. Your future love can't fully bloom if you're still holding on to old stories about what went wrong before. The universe is preparing you to receive love by first helping you. Remember that you've always been worthy of it. Now, the second card is the Two of Swords, and this one stopped me for a moment because it's adding a layer of complexity to your situation. The Two of Swords represents a decision point that's coming up for you in your love life. There's something you've been avoiding looking at directly. Maybe because you're afraid of what you'll have to choose once you see it clearly. What this card is showing me is that you're at a crossroads emotionally. Maybe you're torn between staying open to love and protecting yourself from potential hurt. Or perhaps there are two different people or two different paths in front of you, and you're not sure which one aligns with your highest good. The blindfold in the Two of Swords imagery represents the willful denial we sometimes engage in when the truth feels too heavy. Here's what's important about this card showing up in your reading about the future. The universe is going to present you with a situation where you can't stay in limbo anymore. You'll need to make a choice based on your intuition rather than logic. The Two of Swords asks you to remove the blindfold and trust what your heart knows, even if your mind is trying to rationalize a different answer. I'm getting that this decision point involves vulnerability. One path might feel safer but less fulfilling, while another path might scare you but lead to genuine emotional connection. The Two of Swords doesn't tell you which choice to make, but it does say that avoiding the choice altogether is no longer an option. Your love life is asking you to be brave. There's also something here about communication. The sword suit relates to our thoughts and words, and having two of them suggests you might need to have an honest conversation with yourself or someone else. The future of your love life depends on your willingness to address what's been left unsaid. The third card coming through is the Ten of Pentacles, and honestly, this shifts the entire energy of the reading. After the nostalgia of the Six of Cups and the difficult choice of the Two of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles shows me that your love life is moving towards something substantial and lasting. This isn't about casual dating or temporary connections. The universe is preparing you for something that has real foundation. The Ten of Pentacles represents legacy, long-term commitment, and building something meaningful together. For you, Cancer, this card suggests that once you move through the healing and decision-making phases, you're going to attract or recognize a relationship that has staying power. This could manifest as an engagement, moving in together, or simply reaching a point where you both know this is the real thing. What I love about this card in your reading is that it shows your emotional investments paying off. You've probably been through some challenging relationship experiences, and the Ten of Pentacles is the universe's way of saying that all of that was preparing you for something solid and secure. You're not just looking for romance anymore, you're looking for partnership, and that's exactly what's being cultivated in your future. There's also a sense of family energy here. The Ten of Pentacles can indicate meeting someone who shares your values around home, family, and creating a life together. If you've been wondering whether you'll find someone who wants the same things you do, this card is a reassuring yes. The person coming into your life or the relationship you're already in has the potential to become your safe harbor. I'm also picking up that this card relates to emotional wealth. It's not just about material stability, although that might be part of it. It's about feeling rich in love, supported, and part of something bigger than yourself. Your future in love includes this beautiful sense of belonging. Now, the fourth card is the Knight of Swords, and this brings in some interesting energy because it's quite different from what we've seen so far. The Knight of Swords is fast, direct, and doesn't waste time. This suggests that there's going to be a moment in your love life where things accelerate quickly. After periods of waiting or uncertainty, suddenly everything moves forward at surprising speed. This card can represent a person who's going to enter your life with clear intentions and no games. If you've been dealing with people who are wishy-washy or unclear about what they want, the Knight of Swords energy is the complete opposite. This is someone who knows what they want and isn't afraid to pursue it. They might come on strong, and their directness could catch you off guard. But here's what you need to understand about the Knight of Swords in your reading. While this energy is exciting and can sweep you off your feet, it's also important to make sure there's substance beneath the speed. Knights are young energy in tarot, sometimes representing enthusiasm that hasn't been tempered by experience yet. So when this fast-moving situation presents itself, you'll want to balance the excitement with your natural Cancerian caution. The Knight of Swords also represents communication that cuts through confusion. If you've been stuck in that Two of Swords energy of not knowing what to choose, this Knight energy will bring clarity. Someone might tell you exactly how they feel, or you might find the courage to speak your truth plainly. Either way, the air is going to clear. I'm sensing that this card indicates a breakthrough moment. You know how sometimes you can feel stuck in a pattern and then suddenly something happens that completely shifts the dynamic? That's the Knight of Swords energy. It's the moment when talking becomes action, when thinking becomes doing. The fifth card here is the Knight of Pentacles, and it's really interesting that we have two knights in this reading because knights represent movement and progression. But where the Knight of Swords was fast and impulsive, the Knight of Pentacles is slow and steady. This tells me that your love life journey has different phases, some that move quickly and others that require patience. The Knight of Pentacles is one of my favorite cards for relationships because it represents someone who's reliable, consistent, and in it for the long haul. This isn't flashy romance. It's the person who shows up every day, who follows through on what they say, who builds trust through their actions rather than their words. After the excitement of the Knight of Swords, this energy grounds everything. What this card is telling me about your future is that lasting love requires both passion and practicality. You might meet someone or reach a phase with someone where the focus is on creating stability together. This could look like making practical plans, discussing future goals, or simply showing up for each other in consistent ways. The Knight of Pentacles doesn't rush, but he always arrives. For you, Cancer, this card is particularly significant because it matches your need for security. You don't just want someone who's exciting in the moment, you want someone you can count on. The Knight of Pentacles confirms that this steady, dependable energy is part of your love story. Someone is willing to work for your relationship, to invest time and effort into making it strong. There's also something here about building toward the Ten of Pentacles we saw earlier. The Knight of Pentacles is the energy that gets you there. It's the daily choices, the small acts of love, the commitment to showing up even when it's not convenient. Your future involves learning to appreciate this kind of devotion. The sixth card is the Seven of Cups, and this one made me pause because it's adding another dimension to understanding your romantic future. The Seven of Cups represents choices, fantasies, and sometimes confusion about what's real versus what's imagined. In the context of your love life, this suggests there might be multiple options or possibilities presenting themselves to you. Here's what I'm picking up from this card. You might find yourself in a situation where several romantic prospects are available, or where you're trying to figure out what you actually want versus what you think you should want. The Seven of Cups can indicate that your imagination is very active when it comes to love right now. You might be daydreaming about different scenarios, trying to picture different futures. The challenge with the Seven of Cups is discernment. Not every option that appears attractive is actually good for you. Some of those cups contain wonderful things, but others contain illusions or disappointments. This card is asking you to look beyond the surface and really examine what each possibility offers. Your future love life requires you to be clear-eyed about what's genuine. I'm also sensing that this card relates to your fantasies and expectations about relationships. Sometimes we build up such specific pictures in our minds of how love should look that we miss the real thing when it shows up differently than we imagined. The Seven of Cups is inviting you to stay open to possibilities you hadn't considered while also being grounded enough to recognize what's truly valuable. For Cancer specifically, this card might be highlighting your tendency to idealize or romanticize situations. Your imagination is a gift, but in love, you need to balance dreams with reality. The person or relationship that's meant for you might not look exactly like what you've pictured, and that's okay. Sometimes reality is better than fantasy once we give it a chance. The seventh card is the Page of Swords, and this brings in youthful, curious energy around communication. The Page of Swords represents a new way of thinking or communicating about love. You might find yourself having conversations that feel different from your usual patterns, or you might meet someone whose way of expressing themselves is refreshing and mentally stimulating. What I'm getting from this card is that your romantic future involves intellectual connection as much as emotional connection. You're going to be drawn to someone who makes you think, who challenges your perspectives in a good way, who engages your mind as well as your heart. The Page of Swords suggests conversations that last for hours, exchanges of ideas, and that spark that comes from mental rapport. This page energy also indicates that you're learning new things about how to communicate in relationships. Maybe you're discovering how to express your needs more clearly, or how to listen more actively. The sword suit is all about clarity and truth. So this card suggests you're developing better communication skills that will serve your love life well. There's something here about staying curious rather than making assumptions. The Page of Swords asks questions, investigates, and doesn't pretend to know everything. In your romantic future, this attitude of curiosity and openness to learning will be valuable. Instead of bringing old relationship patterns into new situations, you can approach each interaction with fresh eyes. I'm also picking up that this card can represent messages or communications that are coming your way. You might receive unexpected news about your love life, or someone might reach out to you with information that changes your perspective. The Page of Swords often brings messages, so pay attention to what you hear and read in the coming time. The eighth card is the Strength card, and this is such a powerful addition to your reading. Strength is a major arcana card, which means it carries significant weight and represents a major theme in your love life journey. This card is about inner power, patience, and gentle courage. It's one of the most beautiful cards to receive when you're asking about the future. What Strength is telling me is that your romantic future requires you to embody this quality. Not aggressive force, but the quiet strength that comes from self-knowledge and self-love. You might need to be patient with a situation that's developing slowly, or you might need to have the courage to be vulnerable even though it scares you. Strength asks you to trust in your own inner resources. For Cancer, this card is particularly meaningful because it speaks to emotional resilience. You feel things deeply, and sometimes that intensity can be overwhelming. The Strength card says that your sensitivity is actually your power when you learn to work with it rather than against it. Your ability to love deeply, to nurture, to feel, is what makes you magnetic in relationships. I'm also sensing that this card relates to taming your fears around love. The traditional imagery of Strength shows a figure gently closing the mouth of a lion, representing mastery over our wilder impulses and fears. In your case, this might mean learning to manage anxiety about vulnerability or fear of rejection. Your future in love requires facing these fears with compassion for yourself. There's something beautiful here about the energy you bring to relationships. The Strength card suggests that your gentle, patient approach to love is exactly what's needed. You don't have to be aggressive or play games to attract what you want. Your authentic, heartfelt presence is more than enough. The ninth card is the Ten of Cups, and I actually got emotional when I pulled this because it's such a hopeful, beautiful card for your love life future. The Ten of Cups represents emotional fulfillment, harmony, and the kind of happiness that feels like coming home. This is what you're moving toward, Cancer. All the other cards in this reading are part of the journey that leads here. What the Ten of Cups shows me is that your love life has a genuinely happy ending in store. I'm not talking about fairy tale perfection, but real sustainable joy. This card represents finding your person, building a life together that feels aligned and peaceful, experiencing the kind of love that nourishes your soul. It's about emotional satisfaction at the deepest level. For you specifically, this card confirms that your dreams of a loving partnership are not only possible, but probable. The Ten of Cups is the card of wishes fulfilled in the emotional realm. After any confusion, difficult choices, or waiting periods, you're heading towards something that makes it all worthwhile. This is the relationship that feels right, where you can fully be yourself. I'm getting such strong energy that this involves family, or a sense of family. Whether that's creating a family together or finding someone who becomes your chosen family. The Ten of Cups has this beautiful energy of togetherness, shared values, and building something meaningful with another person. Your future includes this blessing. What I love most about this card in your reading is that it promises not just romance, but real partnership. The kind of relationship where you support each other's dreams, where you face challenges together, where love grows deeper over time rather than fading. This is what the universe has planned for your heart. The 10th and final card is the Page of Cups, and this brings us full circle with such sweet energy. The Page of Cups is about new emotional beginnings, creative expression of feelings, and approaching love with an open heart. This card represents the messenger of the heart, someone who brings or receives expressions of love. What I'm seeing with this card is that despite everything you've been through, you're being guided to keep your heart open and receptive. The Page of Cups suggests that new love or a new phase of existing love is going to emerge, and it's going to feel fresh and exciting. This could manifest as someone expressing their feelings to you, or you finding the courage to share what's in your heart. The Page of Cups also indicates that your romantic future involves emotional authenticity. No more hiding your feelings or pretending to be less interested than you are. This card encourages you to let your true emotions show, to be expressive and genuine in how you approach love. Your vulnerability is going to be received well. I'm picking up that this card represents a kind of innocence or willingness to believe in love again. Even if you've been hurt before, the Page of Cups asks you to take another chance. Someone or something is coming that deserves your trust. The universe is sending you a reminder that your capacity to love deeply is a gift, not a weakness. There's also creative energy here. The Page of Cups can indicate expressing your feelings through creative means or meeting someone through artistic or creative circles. Pay attention to opportunities that involve creativity, as they might lead to romantic connections. What strikes me most about having both the Page of Cups and the Ten of Cups in this reading is the journey from beginning to fulfillment. The Page represents the start of something beautiful, and the Ten shows where it can lead. Your love story is unfolding in stages, and each phase has its purpose. So Cancer, when I look at all 10 cards together, here's what I'm seeing for your love life future. You're in a period of emotional healing and reconnection with what love means to you at its core. There are choices coming up that will require you to be honest with yourself about what you truly want. Once you make those choices and embrace both the excitement and the steadiness that relationships require, you're moving towards something really substantial. Your future involves learning to communicate more clearly, staying curious, and developing inner strength that makes you unshakable. There will be moments of confusion when multiple options present themselves, but your intuition will guide you to what's real. The journey requires patience and courage in equal measure. What the cards are really emphasizing is that everything you've experienced in love has been preparing you for something beautiful. The Ten of Cups doesn't show up in readings by accident. It's the universe's promise that genuine happiness and partnership are in your future. You're being asked to stay open, trust the process, and believe that you deserve the kind of love that feels like home. The combination of knights in your reading tells me that movement is coming, both fast and slow. Some aspects of your love life will suddenly click into place, while others will develop gradually. Both types of movement are necessary and valuable. Don't rush what needs time to grow, but also don't be afraid when things accelerate naturally. I keep coming back to the Strength card because it feels like the key to everything else. Your gentle power, your emotional depth, your ability to love patiently and persistently, this is what's going to attract and sustain the relationship you desire. You don't need to be anyone other than who you are. One more thing I want to mention is the strong presence of cups in this reading, which makes sense for you as a water sign. Your emotional nature is central to your love story. The cards are saying that your feelings, your intuition, your heart-centered approach to life is exactly what will guide you to the right person and the right relationship. If I had to sum up the overall message, it would be this. Your love life is transforming from a place of uncertainty and healing into something solid and fulfilling. The path includes important choices, the need for clear communication, and moments when you must trust yourself completely. But the destination is worth every step of the journey. Real love, lasting love, the kind that nourishes your soul, that's what's waiting for you. Pay attention to people who show up consistently, who match their words with actions. Notice when someone makes you feel safe enough to be vulnerable. Trust the connections that develop naturally rather than the ones you have to force. Your intuition is strong right now, even when you doubt it. And remember that opening your heart again after it's been hurt takes tremendous courage. The fact that you're here, asking about your love life future, shows that you haven't given up on love. That matters. Your willingness to keep believing, to keep trying, to keep your heart open despite past pain, that's the energy that calls in miracles. The cards are really clear that happiness in love is not just possible for you, it's probable. The timeline might not match your expectations exactly, and the path might have some unexpected turns, but the destination is beautiful. Trust that the universe is orchestrating everything perfectly, even when it doesn't feel that way in the moment. I hope this reading brought you some clarity and hope, Cancer. Your love story is still being written, and the best chapters are ahead of you. Keep your heart open, trust your inner strength, and know that you're worthy of all the love you dream of receiving. The Ten of Cups is waiting for you.